Hello and welcome to Leviathan News. I'm your host, Sam McCullough, and today is February 20th. It's like 2:20. We're almost to 4:20, a couple months away. But here today we have Amplice.
What's up?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And you know what I'm excited about is points.
Who isn't? Everybody's excited by points.
I know. It's like we're moving back into like a video game meta, which I think is where we get towards, right? Everything is descending into like video game metas.
In the sense that like life doesn't mean anything and it's literally just a game.
Exactly.
And it's all ultimately meaningless. Yeah. I buy that.
I mean, the thing about the points is that they may or may not ever exist. I mean, they exist in your computer screen, but like whether they
Do they exist in your computer screen or do they exist on the servers somewhere?
exactly.
And like, yeah.
You know,
I mean, hopefully if the points aren't honored, then everybody's gonna be in big trouble. But let's not talk about that now. Yeah.
I mean, what would happen if the points aren't honored, actually?
Well, I would say there is a robust points marketplace now on Wells Market, right? Which I've never used, and I don't quite understand how it works, but it exists. So points are liquid in a sense. So it's just a matter of like getting out before, if you think there's at all a chance that points don't get honored, which I don't think that there's really a chance of that. Because like why would these projects do that? You know what I mean? They'll just be shooting themselves in their own foot.
How
But,
do you have a points market?
I don't know. I don't know how it works, but it exists. People have been like posting about. I mean, I've seen a thread about Gearbox specifically that's like, oh, eigenlayer points are going for what is it, like 0.145, so 14 cents essentially, and you can farm in Gearbox for 4 cents per 14 cents. It's like printing money or something. Now, I'm not saying that thread is like, I haven't done the math myself, so but yeah, there's like a marketplace and there's people are assigning like dollar values to points now on Wells Market. So I guess there's a way. I mean, I assume it's not. Yeah, I don't know how it works because I thought points were just like a UI, a thing in the UI and like a database somewhere. But yeah.
Yeah, it is a little bit crazy, right? That like we've gotten to the point where we don't even trade tokens anymore. We trade the idea of tokens.
Well, it's just, it's an endless layer of abstractions, right? So we're talking about like there's account abstraction. Now we have token abstraction. So, it'd be chain abstraction. And then we can do away with the idea of blockchains altogether. And just, you can have a Web2 app that's that's like an abstraction of a Web3 app without actually having any Web3 features, and that'll be good enough.
Well,
I mean, to be honest, I'm like the points thing kind of annoys me a bit, but look, like if you want like that, especially with eigenlayer, right? But also, I mean, in most cases, those points are going to be not transferable, are going to turn into tokens, right? It's just a matter of like, I think projects want a little bit more control, and I totally understand this. Projects want a little bit more control over whatever the final distribution is going to be of the token, right? Like, and like with points, they can kind of basically keep you on the hook because you don't know how much a point is going to be worth. And it's a way of like allowing farming, allowing some mild forms of speculation and like anticipation, building excitement, but without setting in stone your tokenomics. And it's a huge advantage because like once the token is out, then you're kind of stuck with whatever distribution you have. Whereas the points thing can go on, indefinitely. I mean, at some point people will get sick of it, but so I understand like why projects are preferring to do the points thing rather than just doing a token immediately.
So looking at Wales Market, the top offer for eigenlayer points is at 13 cents, 13 and a half cents per point.
Yep.
It's crazy. And that puts eigenlayer at close to like a $15 or $20 billion FTV.
I think somebody did the math and it was like 20 billion. Yeah.
20 billion. It's crazy. Out the gate.
I mean, it's a bull market, man. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible.
Do you remember last bull market? I'm supposed to be shilling Gearbox, by the way. But anyways, do you not remember last bull market? Like FDV is a meme. Like it is in the bull market. FDV is a meme. It doesn't matter. Like what was the Axie Infinity top last?
I didn't hit like 120 billion or something like that.
Yeah. So okay. So like, what are we really talking about? Like, Eigenlayer is worth more than Axie. So like, the sky's the ceiling of this thing, right?
So the market cap hit 10 billion, and I believe the FTV probably would have been like 20 or 30 billion by that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, really anything is possible here. So if Eigenlayer went live tomorrow, it's probably debuting at like they said what 10% airdrop. They're thinking, I think is what it's at, and so that would put it pretty much in the probably in the top 50, right? Like $1.5 billion market cap.
Yeah, something like that.
Top 50. So like $2 billion market cap, 20 billion fully diluted. And even from like a market, like FTV's like standpoint, it's quite high. It would put it pretty much right behind Starknet for where it's debuting. And Starknet has like zero ecosystem. There's a lot of people building on it, but there's not that much TVL there.
I feel like not only is there not to shit on Starknet, right? But not only is there not that much TVL, I feel like people are pissed. So will there be TVL? Because like at the end of the day, like you can shit on airdrop farmers and all that stuff all you want, but those are like the users, especially like if you're talking about who are the people who are like quote unquote in the trenches during the bear, using everything, keep like continually supporting the ecosystem by injecting their money into like projects and things like that. It was like people who you would term like airdrop farm or e-beggars or whatever, right? So like to go and shit on those people is just, well, number one, it's unnecessary. You can just like take the high road and just kind of ignore them, even if this is the distribution that you've chosen. But like those are like there's really no functional difference between an airdrop farmer and a user, right? Because the reason why projects in this space can attract, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars in TVL or even billions of dollars in TVL and like thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of users really, really quickly is because of this like hyper financialized aspect. So like, you know, I feel like if you're going to shit on those people, then you're kind of trying to take the good without taking the bad. And based on some other airdrops that annoyed lots of people in the past, not going to name names, I think you know, the collective will of crypto Twitter or whatever can definitely bury your project if you annoy everybody. So
I named the title of this episode "Gearbox Enters the Points Meta," but
yeah,
I think I'm going to rename it to like "E-Beggars Anonymous."
That's it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like let's face it, in the bear, like I don't know, you were probably doing this too. I was definitely like trying new stuff, being like, oh, I'm biding my time to wait for the bull market so that I know what's going on. I know what's going to be, like what's going to pump and what's not going to pump, and like what's cool and what's fake. And I feel like, yeah, everybody who's still around was doing this, and to just dismiss all those people out of hand is not the best BD strategy, let's just say.
Yeah. I'm mixed on the points thing because like a lot of it's going to be mercenary. Like these market caps and FTVs that we're seeing for these projects probably are warranted in the medium to long term, but I think they could get super overheated in the short term. And if you're like, it's a very crowded trade at the moment, and I don't know if Eigenlayer debuts at $20 billion valuation. I mean, how high can it go in this cycle, right?
Yeah.
Are we talking like?
Well, I mean, yes and no. Like even in the bull, again, not to shit on Eigenlayer or whatever, but even in the bull last cycle, like there were things that got airdropped and then just like slowly dumped to oblivion. So that can definitely happen, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a nice juicy airdrop.
Yeah. So Eigenlayer is coming up. There's Eigen Day, which is going to be probably in 2 months. We got confirmation about the Blast launch as well too this week. People have been farming Blast points as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think Blast is like February 20, or sorry, is it March 24th that is coming up?
No idea. I'm not farming that, so I don't care about it.
Okay.
Scam.
Oh, sorry. Mainnet's going to be February 24th. Sorry. That's right around the corner. This week, actually, it's going to be going live.
Things that I'm farming deserve their $20 billion valuations, and things that I'm not farming are scams. Unironically, I believe this.
Well, what would you like? Would you rather be in a crowded trade where the token might decline by 80%, or would you rather be farming stuff where it has a very low probability of making like a 10 to 20x?
I think it depends on what part of the cycle you're in, right? Like you say it's a crowded trade, but like if we're in the part of the cycle that I think we're in, which is like still relatively early, then is it really a crowded trade, or is it just like you and all your crypto friends are in it, but like are the normies in? Like Axie was a crowded trade when it pumped because like retail Filipinos were in it, right? But like how many of those kinds of people are in the eigenlayer thing?
Yeah.
So like, is it really crowded? I don't know. I guess that's how I think about it. Also, I do think there's like you can like overcomplicate things. Like if you figure, okay, you just have to deposit your like LSTs or your staked ETH, right? As far as I know, the restaking aspect, like you're not taking on any additional risk other than like Eigenlayer has some contracts, right? But like the restaking aspect of like, oh, you're providing security for this other thing isn't fully live yet, right? As far as I'm aware. So like, what are you talking about? You're talking about like extra yield for depositing your Lido's like staked ETH or whatever, with minimal risk. So it's like, if you are holding ETH anyways and you had staked it in Lido, then like why not deposit into Eigenlayer unless you think they're gonna get like smart contract exploited or something. So it's like, okay, you might as well farm the points because like not free exactly, but it doesn't cost you very much because that other aspect of the restaking isn't fully live yet as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it's just like opportunity cost that you're giving up.
Yeah, but I think lots of people are holding ETH anyways, right? Like some portion presumably of your portfolio is an ETH. And so like I don't think that if you have like, I don't know, 30% of your portfolio in ETH and you staked in Lido anyways, that's not the portion of your portfolio that would be competing with your 20x shitcoin airdrop hopefuls, right? That's like a different bucket of risk or whatever. I guess that's how I would think about it.
Well, my bags are filled with gear.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Not enough though. Yeah. Okay. So I should show Gearbox a bit before we.
Yeah, we've had Gearbox on a couple of times now.
Yeah. So the new thing with Gearbox right now is we just launched leveraged restaking, also known as leveraged points. So essentially, it's EtherFi via EtherFi into EigenLayer, so you can get up to like 9.5x leverage on your EigenLayer or EtherFi positions, right? And that means up to 9.5 times the number of EigenLayer points. And then I think EtherFi are throwing in a bonus as well. So it's like up to 18 times the amount of EtherFi points and then 9.5 times the amount of EigenLayer points. So if you're like doing the points thing and you want more exposure and you understand the risks of leverage, which are basically like if the thing depegs, then it could spell trouble, right? But I think, I would say like probably don't do 9 times, but maybe like 3 or 4 times is maybe okay. If you just do the math on like how much of a depeg it would take to get you liquidated, right? Between the staked eigenlayer, the eigenlayer deposit ETH or whatever, and kind of vanilla ETH. But anyways, yeah. So you can lever up on via EtherFi on eigenlayer points, get EtherFi points as well. Eventually that will turn into sweet tokens, hopefully. And also these points are quote unquote liquid on various markets. So you can kind of do the math and see what that leverage is worth to you. But right now it seems people are pretty excited.
So there's like a junior tranche and a senior tranche. And like the senior tranche has like lower risk, but you're getting like yield. And then the junior tranche is getting the bigger yield, but you can be liquidated.
No, there's no junior senior tranche. So there's like just the lending pool side, right? So you deposit ETH to lend to people, and then people take that ETH and ape it into ETHify, which has this product which is basically then deposited into EigenLayer.
So who's paying who? Like if I'm taking the risk of leveraged points farming.
Yeah. So you're paying the people who are lending you the ETH to do this, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And in exchange for paying the interest on those loans, you get like whatever X number of points that you would normally get, plus the additional yield on the kind of, I guess, vanilla ETH staking is the wrong thing to say, but like on your regular ETH staking, right? So like if you figure the regular ETH staking covers the cost of borrow roughly, or more than covers, because we also have like Lido staked ETH strategies, right? So if you assume that your staked ETH yield will cover the cost of borrow, then the points are just gravy on top kind of thing. Yeah. And as of right now, I think that's still the case.
So it's the WETH pool that's really been kind of kicking off on Gearbox then, right?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. You could also like take a long position on ETH as well if you like use USDC collateral. But that, that's just the cool composability stuff that Gearbox allows you to do.
Oh, so I can be long ETH and also be long points?
Yeah, so if you borrow USDC, right, and then buy ETH with that USDC in your Gearbox Shredder account, and then ape it into the ETHify, then yeah, effectively you're long ETH. Well, effectively you're long EigenLayer ETH, right? Or you're long points and long ETH, or however you want to kind of think about that. But yes, I mean this is why I think Gearbox is like the coolest DeFi product, because it allows stuff like that.
So this is it's all built into V3 as well too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So here we can see the recent TVL bumps, or like the total borrowed has just been spiking 2 days, and there's been close to an additional $5 million borrowed. Additionally, there is and most of the supply, like there's not that much supply being like routed into the WETH yet. So the APRs on the borrow must be pretty high right now.
Yeah, right now it's 8% organic plus another 6% in gear. So it's 14% in your ETH. So pretty good, better than most other places.
And what about the like expected yield on the leverage farming for the points right now?
It's hard to calculate the yield because, again, we don't know exactly how the points are going to translate to whatever happens with EigenLayer. I can link you some moon math that people have done. I'll send it to you in the Telegram chat. But yeah, so it's hard to calculate definitive yield, right? Because the points are hard to price at the moment. But like the cost of borrow should be somewhat covered by your staked ETH yields, and then hopefully the points, if the points are correctly priced on Wells market, then the yield is going to be quite high. But like whether or not that's a realistic, like you said, it's a high FDV and all that. So we'll see how it goes. I just linked you a thread with some math.
So,
but like it's hard. Like I don't think we're putting the APRs and stuff in the interface yet, precisely because it's like kind of hard to calculate.
Yeah, I actually saw this the other day. This is Steven, runs DeFi Dojo, calculator guy, and he's got this nice. This is for Pendle, but essentially this is a nice little calculator where you can like plug in everything and pop out like what the expected yield is going to be.
Yep.
Maybe you guys need one of these for Gearbox.
I think I just linked something similar to, like in the chat, in the Leviathan news chat. Like somebody did a tweet thread, not this person, but somebody else, that does similar math. Yeah. Oh, there's a Gearbox tab in this thing.
Oh, there's a Gearbox tab?
Yeah, I see it right there. In the sheet.
Here we go. Gearbox. Oh, he's working on it.
No, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so the Yeah.
But my understanding is, as of yesterday when we launched the Gearbox per point farmed, Gearbox was cheaper than other options.
So it's currently selling at about 14 cents, or like 13.5 cents was the best offer that we saw on Whales Market. And with Gearbox, you're able to get those points costs down to about 4 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Stacey was saying. How is that? How do you get your cost down? Is that just from the leverage?
Well, it's not a matter of getting the cost down. It's like that's how much it costs. That's how much, when she calculated, that's how much it costs per point to get the point. And then the idea is that you could theoretically at least sell it on Wells Market for, triple that, whatever, 13 cents.
So what's the strategy? Take some ETH, go to Gearbox, deposit it in, or
first you have to, I think, if you don't have this, might be going away next week, but as of right now, you still have to like get the whitelist access thing. But yeah, I think that's going away next week. But anyways, so it's like a phase launch, right? So you have to fill out a form with your address. There's no other identifying information in that form. It's literally just an address. So you put in your address into this form, which is, it's going to be linked in, one of these threads. I'll send the link in a second. But so you fill out the form, you get your address whitelisted, and then you go to app.gearbox.fi. You go to the leverage tab and you just click start leveraging points. Then you connect your wallet. Then you deposit some amount of ETH as collateral. I think it's like around 7 ETH minimum, 6.5 ETH minimum, something like that at the moment. So you deposit your ETH, then you borrow, up to 9x, and then you just like click the buttons and it'll ape for you. Essentially.
Has anybody been liquidated yet?
No, not yet. Well, I don't think so. Not as of my last. I'm sure I would have heard something. Has there been some major? I think as long as there's no like depeg on, I think it's WEETH is what the ticker is, right? Like the wrapped Ether Phi ETH. As long as there's not a depeg, you should be okay. Like that's really the only thing, because if you're borrowing ETH and you're aping into an ETH denominated product, the only thing that will kind of liquidate you is if there's a depeg between those two things. That makes sense. That's why like leverage is so good for this kind of strategy.
I think I might have to check it out later on, because even like 5x ETH or 5x 3, 4, 5x gives you like a 10-20% buffer.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So like I definitely wouldn't do the 9x. That's pretty, like I would say that's pretty risky, because just kind of random market movements or like somebody fat fingering can cause like a few percent deviation, right? But like 10, 15, 20% buffer is pretty good. So yeah, 3, 4, 5x seems safe, relatively safe to me.
What do you think about all these new LSDs that we have now? We've kind of entered into a new meta where
LSDs or LRTs?
No, like LSD. I mean, there's still LSDs. I mean, there's no like actual restaking yet. It's just like points farming,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But
well, it's future liquid future restaking tokens. Everybody's preparing their infrastructure for
I know. I was looking at the ETH Denver lineup, and it's like all restaking. It's like restaking in AI is the theme of ETH Denver this year.
Yeah. What do I think? I mean,
like next year,
I'm mixed, right? Because on the one hand, like, do we really need that many of these kinds of products? Like, how many of them will survive the whole bull and the next bear? That I don't know. But for the time being, I think like if this is what's capturing attention and you're trying to like figure out some kind of product market fit, and you're like, you want to be in the kind of DeFi-ish space, like this is the kind of product that you want to put out, right? So yeah, I mean, like long term, do I think all of these new LRTs or LSTs or whatever are gonna make it? Probably not. But for the time being, let's see who puts out the best product, and like competition's good. So, and given modular thesis and all that, like there is room for some of this stuff for sure.
yeah.
So yeah.
And it is eating into Lido's dominance here. I
Yeah.
mean, we look back at
That's gonna give Vitalik the jollies.
so last September 1st of last year, Lido was sitting at 83.86%
Yeah.
dominance. Now it's down to 71%. And so there's been big additions from actually Rocket Pool's lost a little bit. Rocket Pool's been pretty much flat.
Yeah.
Frax has gotten bumped down a couple of times, and now we have like Binance Staked ETH, which has taken a pretty large role, as well as
Yeah.
Mantle
Yeah.
and Stakestone, which I've never heard of, but apparently they have 2.3% of all staked ETH as an LSD. But it's more the other ones down there, like Swell and also Stater and Statewise have kind of creeping up.
Yeah, I think a lot of these so those are like the LSTs, right? Or the LSDs. I think a lot of those projects are now like eyeing the restaking market as like something to expand into, because obviously if they can capture restaking, they can kind of have that built on top of their staking instead of somebody else's staking, which will then capture them like base layer LSD market share as well, I guess. But yeah, I mean, competition's good. I think like I like Lido a lot. I think it's great. I use it a lot. Like I have a lot of Lido staked ETH as a portion of my portfolio. But like in a perfect world, they probably have a bit less market share than they have. So I'm not opposed to it, basically.
How does Lido actually enter the like restaking market? Because the validators will have to run the AVSs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're planning. No idea.
Like I kind of get it for Rocket Pool. Rocket Pool has a bunch of solo stakers. Everybody's running their own nodes.
Yep.
Same thing for like Frax when they do Frax ETH v2. Like you'll be able to run your own solo stake, and I think the same goes for EtherFi as well too. But Lido, I'm not sure. I mean, because they have like a core group of what, like 30 or 40 different institutional stakers who are managing the stake for Steth.
Yeah.
And so like how, like I just don't know yet how they transition into a restaking world where, you know, like,
Well, do they need to though?
no,
Or is there? I think their product is like, I mean, obviously you can't rest on your laurels, but I think that their product it's so dominant right now that like, and just like the amount of fees and stuff that they must be making, they can just focus on this and let everybody else fight the restaking wars.
yeah,
You know, because they've already kind of won the staking, like the first iteration. Yeah, it's kind of how it's almost like, okay, does Aave need to, like, you see these like other lending protocols like Ajna and Euler and, you know, Silo and all these other things previously as well, where like everybody's trying to capture this piece of the market that's like either segregated pools or kind of single asset lending pools, things like that. But like those things are all competing for a slice of the market that Aave doesn't need to compete for, because Aave has already captured, like, they won the first iteration of the lending wars, right? So they don't need to then fight these like tiny battles for these smaller bits of the market. Yeah, so maybe Lido's in that kind of position where they can just chill. They just like print money and, you know, yeah, and let everybody else fight the restaking wars. And like whoever wins the restaking is probably going to have Lido staked ETH like under the hood in some way, right? So yeah.
with like, but it's all good for the protocols that are like built on top of it. And the dexes have been seeing really good additions. The lending pools that are integrating all these LRTs are seeing good growth as well too. And same thing for Gearbox as well too, which is providing leverage.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like what excites me about this, like I'm excited about the leverage restaking. I think it's cool, but what excites me more is like internally is how fast we were able to do this round of integrations. Because in V2 integrations were like a slog, honestly. It'd be like we integrate, then audit, then, you know, chain link Oracle, blah blah blah, and it was like everything was, it was like moving through molasses almost. Now with V3 we have the quotas, which is like a form of risk control, which is really helpful, right? Because then we can limit total system risk and all that stuff. And so like with the architecture of V3, and then I think, I don't know if you saw this, we like we've integrated like Redstone Oracle, so we're not just reliant on Chainlink. We can also integrate with Redstone, and like Redstone seems to be much faster at just putting up new oracles and stuff compared to Chainlink. So that means we will be able to iterate much faster on new integrations, which means that it's not just liquid restaking that's the thing we can get leverage on, but like as people get excited about new things in DeFi, we can hopefully just like integrate it pretty straightforwardly, pretty quickly, and really become like what I like hope Gearbox becomes in the future, which is like leverage everything. Right? If you can do it in DeFi and it's safe, then you can get leverage on it. That's kind of my personal vision for what Gearbox is. Now I'm not a dev, so I really have no say in what gets built or not. But like based on how fast this restaking thing came out, as opposed to like stuff in V2, I'm really pumped for the future.
Like, are we back with DeFi yet?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, have you seen anything that you've been like, this is clearly fully retarded? Everybody's still pretending that, like, even things that you're like, I don't know about that, but like they're still dressing it up as something like real, right? There's still a pretense. I feel like the height of DeFi summer, I mean, I spent a good amount of time like, never mind sushi. Do you remember like the yams? Do you remember spaghetti? I farmed pickles for a long time. I don't know if those guys are still around.
My friend was a pickles diehard.
Yeah, I was a pickles diehard too. And then like I just happened to exit right before they got hacked or something. I mean, it was crazy. It was totally insane. I don't know if we'll ever recapture those moments. Those are going to be like moments that like people look back on with nostalgia because it got so silly so quickly.
Yeah, people were just trying games. I mean, it was like culminated with Olympus.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
And after that, I mean, people just, I think the games got all played out. People just understood like, you can't create money from something and the yield has to come from somewhere. And it's funny, like DeFi's gone into like the value trade, right? Like CRV.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
CRV is like the most hated token ever. But it has so much being built on it, right? And there's an incredible amount of new stuff that's come into the Curve Convex ecosystem over the past year.
Yeah, to me, DeFi is still like the thing that makes most sense as a use case for like crypto and blockchains. It's like the most obvious thing, anyways. So like I'm still bullish DeFi, but for sure we don't have the same, because last cycle was like the first DeFi ICO stuff from like 2017 was like coming online, and we had all of the attention. This cycle, it's like there are so many competing narratives. So we'll see. I don't think DeFi is going to get as unhinged as it did last time, but that's probably a good thing because like looking back, we were doing some pretty silly stuff. But yeah, I think like the unhingedness is going to come from other kind of verticals this cycle.
AI, right?
Yeah, AI, gaming. There's going to be some like really stupid gaming things probably. And AI for sure, like you can already see, I think many of those projects are just like, they're not even a chat GPT wrapper. They're literally like promising that they will build a chat GPT wrapper kind of thing, yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I look at the top of the AI list on CoinGecko, and maybe like BitTensor and Render are probably
more legit.
Yeah, more legit, but like everything after this, I don't know. I mean, but
great. Is Golem an AI coin?
Apparently.
Do you remember Golem from 2017?
Yeah, definitely. Resurgence. It's up 50% in the last week.
Holy shit.
I think
it's still alive as a project.
I think they have a huge ETH treasury.
I mean, that I believe.
Yeah. But like the AI narratives have just been driven by BitTensor.
Yeah.
Which we really haven't given too much time yet here on Leviathan. But
are you bullish or are you fading it?
I have no idea. Like it's just one of those things where like I really don't know enough about BitTensor to make a good decision about it.
Yeah.
Like maybe like I read the paper, I read their docs, and it sounds interesting, but does it really warrant me buying in at a $12 billion valuation? I don't know.
Well, that's fully diluted.
Yeah, I mean, but like FTV is not like it matters.
FTV is a meme. You have PTSD, my friend.
Sure, but like, where's it going to go from here? I mean, like, are we going to look at Bitensor and say like this is $100 billion protocol in 3 years?
I mean, if you think about it as OpenAI beta, and OpenAI is raising $7 trillion or whatever, then yeah, why not? I don't know. Like, I think for me, this cycle, I'm trying to turn off the little voice, especially like as this bowl is starting. My goal is to turn off that little voice in my head that's like, this is stupid. Just like let it wash over you and participate, and then worry about like things crashing down when you start seeing signs of it happening. But like, don't pre-worry. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, but doesn't it seem a little like doesn't AI seem a little frothy right now? Or we're just not even like we forget. I think maybe that's it. We just forget how fast and how high things can move once people start to get a little crazy.
Yeah, I think it's that. Also, like, is AI frothy? Like, it depends on what you think it's gonna do, right? Like, if you think it's just like a better version of Siri, then yeah, it's definitely frothy. If you think this is like the culmination of a kind of new age of humankind, then there is no too frothy, right? Then we're talking like in 30 years, nobody has a job. Everybody, like, we get UBI because the robots do everything, and we can just like paint or cook or whatever, do whatever things you want to do, kind of thing. Like, if you think that's a possibility, then there is no too frothy, because this is the kind of, it's like the end times almost. Like, it's going to totally transform our society. Now, I don't know if I'm that bullish, but I don't know. So other smart people seem to be that bullish, and I mean, I can definitely tell you, like, that OpenAI video thing, like, that will totally change the way that I do my work. So
Yeah.
for Gearbox and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
don't know.
Can we talk about that? That was awesome. Honestly, I've seen all the Sora stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm just really impressed. Like, it's
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't wait to like just. It would be cool to be able to just manifest ideas from your mind into video, right? Because I have no actual like talent with a camera or with animating things or anything like that. So, but I have an active imagination. So it'd be cool to just be able to prompt things. And yeah, I mean, I'm doing a bit of it already, but 60 seconds is like, right now, most of the video solutions only do like 3, 4, 5 seconds. And a lot of them are you kind of have to either choose between like high res or high frame rate. You can't have both. And like, they're honestly pretty janky. But the Sora thing looks pretty amazing. Yeah, I have like, I will pay good money, like a big sum of money, for anybody who can get me access to Sora. By the way, for anybody who's listening.
And then it transitions to 3D eventually.
Yeah, so like, I mean, people are already working on this stuff where like the people are already building AIs where like they can kind of make 3D models out of videos, right? So you put in a video, and then the AI kind of tries to generate a 3D model. And I think most of those things right now are separate from the video generation. But when you get to the point where you can have a pipeline of like, you generate a video, you then, like, with AI, so you type in some text, you're like, whatever, I want a man, and then you generate the video, then you put that video into the 3D model generator, which is also AI run, then you can generate a model of the 3D man. Then the sky's the limit, right? Then you can basically do anything, because then you can be like, oh, rig this man to dance, rig this man to run, blah blah blah. Yeah,
I'm just ready for like unhinged Amplice videos coming from Sora.
yeah. I mean, it's coming.
Have you been? You know what I was really impressed with is
But
the recent urine video.
oh yeah, I mean, they're great. Like, I'm a big fan of Draper and all those guys. Their marketing's really good. Putting me to shame, honestly.
Like the video that we played it here on Leviathan a couple of days back, and they essentially were able to take a clip from Killers of the Flower
Killers of the
Moon.
Flower Moon.
Yeah. And not just like throw some graphics on top, but they actually went in and changed the text, or sorry,
Yep.
changed the voice on all the
Yep.
actors
Yep.
to make it crypto theme, which I thought was like incredible. I'd never seen like marketing like that before.
Yeah. I mean, it's only gonna get weirder. Like the deep fake stuff that you can do right now. Like I haven't played much with that because I don't know, it feels kind of weird to me. Like it feels like dark arts or something. To like put words that somebody hasn't said into their mouth seems like a morally gray area.
Well,
But
I was gonna say you could do it for Ivan, but he's already done most of the work for you. So
oh, Ivan, anything that you think Ivan has said, he said it. I have the tapes and the evidence that I mean, I have a folder on my hard drive called blackmail folder, and it's basically all the you know, unsavory things that Ivan has said,
I
which
know.
is why I'm still employed.
Maybe you should go down like a Charles Hodgkinson's route and start, pumping out some deepfakes of the man himself.
Yeah. Charles Hoskinson. Well, how's Cardano doing?
I don't know. Is it doing anything ever?
Is it live yet? Is there DeFi?
I think so. My friend has a lot of Cardano. I don't know how. Maybe it's just different worlds. There's like people that exist in like on crypto Twitter and DeFi, and then there's like everybody else that just has like regular jobs. And
So you see what you're saying is Cardano is the coin of the people.
it is the coin of the people.
People with regular jobs.
Yeah, that don't actually use DeFi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the peer review go? I don't know. That whole it's so bizarre. This thing just doesn't die.
Well,
all these coins just don't die. Like even coins that are known scams don't die.
Like XRP?
Yeah, I mean it's still in the top 10.
Yeah, it's number 6. Yeah.
Fucking hell. BNB, Cardano is number 9. Tron is number 12.
Well, no, but Tron has like actual legitimate use.
Yeah, I mean, insofar as it's a database where you can move numbers around, yeah. I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Most all the USDT is on Tron. I don't have to go any further than that.
Yeah. Man.
No, but I mean that's like when of course it doesn't have the same robust ecosystem as ETH, but more people are using Tron to send USDT back and forth than in other places, like actual retail.
I mean, sure, that's true. It's just I don't know. This list of like how are these not mostly DeFi coins or whatever? We still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. We talked about like maybe it's Telegram, right? I've kind of been harboring like I think there's a lot of like questions around the Telegram distribution of TON.
Yeah.
Like if it actually commands that market cap or if they're juicing it somehow. But
yeah,
at the same time, Telegram has close to 2 billion users, and everybody that's not in the United States has a wallet on their Telegram.
Yep.
App. Yeah.
Yep.
Have you tried it? Their wallet?
I have not. I have not played with it at all. I don't know. Something seems again. Yeah, you're right. Like it seems kind of leaving aside the coin. I mean, just like I guess like what's the point? Is it at all decentralized in any way? And if not, then like kind of what's the point?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, like, would I buy the coin if I thought it was going to go up? Yeah, I would. But like, is it? I mean, there's like, I have 2 opposing kind of things in my head, right? One is like, I'm trying to make it, and I'm just trying to buy the coins that go up. And in that sense, like, yes, is there a case for TON to go up? Yeah, but on like the other half of me is like, do I care about like blockchain technology? And like I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be working on like DeFi and stuff, right? Like I think it's actually important. Like decentralization is actually important, and like these things that we supposedly care about, like are actually important. And is the Telegram coin like living up to those things? Like probably not. And that's kind of how I feel about Tron too. Like I think it's great that Argentinians get to send money USDT via Tron. That's fantastic. but like we could do a bit better, I guess.
I don't know. Durov has way too much time on his hands to get exceedingly ripped now.
I had a discussion with a Telegram friend about this. Like, I don't think he's that jacked. Like, he's pretty ripped, but he's not like, I don't know. I feel like I see similar people. Maybe it's because I hang out in a gym where like all the people are PTs, but like I see people like that like on a daily basis. He's not like jacked, you know.
It's the tech founder like meta, right? Like,
well, once they get rich, then they get jacked. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
when we get Vitalik, everybody is gonna be fucking. Yeah, we're all gonna be loaded.
I don't think Vitalik will ever. I mean, his dad is ripped, and
I think he will.
Yeah. Like Vitalik.
I mean, all we need is like a paper that's like, oh, weightlifting helps life extension or whatever. Then you're gonna get ripped Vitalik. Like he's gonna get fucking jacked. It's gonna happen.
What if Sam Bankman-Fried gets jacked?
I mean, he probably will. Right? What else is he gonna do in jail?
He's getting pretty skinny. Actually, did you see the pictures?
He looks pretty sad. I don't know. I feel like that picture is pretty sad. Like, it's funny, but also a bit sad.
I know. He's got a beard.
He doesn't look great. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this. Sitting in jail. Tiffany Fong posted this today and actually talked to one of the guys. And the guy said that Sam wasn't taking showers anymore and is growing a beard and is getting really skinny. Like his gut is pretty much gone.
Yeah. But he was like that before, like when FTX first started, right? He was pretty skinny. He only put on the heft like as
the stimmies kicked in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now he's off the stimmies and back in the real world.
Yeah. What role do you think he plays in this gang?
I don't know. They're probably like asking him to make trades for him or something.
That is actually what they're doing. They're fucking asking him for like what to punt.
Exactly.
Do you think they can punt from like, you know how they hide cell phones in jail?
You think they have some like cell phones with MetaMask and they're like leaving shitcoins in jail?
Can you like rig like a Nokia, like an old Nokia phone to run MetaMask?
100%. Definitely. Yeah. I bet
we should repurpose all those old Nokias into hardware wallets.
Those are actually the best phones.
Yeah, they were the best, but like they survive forever. I mean, it's literally what you want from a hardware wallet, right? It's like they survive forever, can't break them, you know.
Most importantly, you can take the battery out.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, which is a really unfortunate side effect of new phones that, like even when you turn them off, they're still on.
Yeah, still spying on you.
You have to like fully drain them. They got to really run out of battery. But even then, like they can go for a while, and they can get some location tracking going.
Yeah,
those Nokia phones, you just like take off the back, 2 seconds, rip out the battery, boom, you're off the grid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know, Sam. Maybe he'll take some tips and start working out.
He should. I mean, I bet, and especially in prison, makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's still.
Like, what else are you gonna do?
It's still his first year.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta get some experience under your belt, I guess. But like, just for the mood, right? Especially if you're stuck in a room, like not much sunlight, you get like a few hours of sunlight a day or whatever. Just exercising would make such a big difference to your kind of mood and general happiness, I think.
And getting off the stammies.
Well, I think that probably makes you sad, huh?
No,
you've been on them for a long time.
Well, maybe like getting off the bit, but like then you kind of like return to your normal state.
Sure.
Yeah. We can blame the pharma companies for the FTX fall.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah. Well, I guess you'd have to know what he was like before he got on them to know, really. I think it was probably like a little bit not unethical exactly, but a little bit like willing to risk it all even before. He was probably like that from day one, which is what allowed him to fake it till he made it or whatever you think that he did. What allowed him to do it is like just incredible risk tolerance, like bet it all and everything every time.
Okay, question for you. Your developer trader that you're giving $50,000 has a some sort of like preference for drugs.
Yes.
What would you like them to be?
Probably like Adderall type, like ADHD meds.
ADHD meds?
Yeah.
Not some like LSD like LSD Burning Man, go out to Coachella.
No, because then they're gonna be like, money doesn't matter, and just fucking, yeah, they're gonna go out and like, I don't know, they're gonna go out and like do open source software. That's not what you want from a. This shit has to be proprietary. This trading technology has to be proprietary. Once it gets out there, it's worthless. So yeah, I mean, there's I don't know if like I'm kind of adjacent. Well, I'm somewhat adjacent to this like rationalist community, and there's somebody did a survey about like the best performance enhancing, like cognitive performance enhancing drugs and activities, and it's basically like ADHD meds at the top. Oh, he's gone. Well, I'm sure people are still listening. It's basically like ADHD meds at the top, and then like weightlifting, and then coffee somewhere in there, and blah blah blah. So yeah, ADHD meds, I think.
Is like steroid use? Does that
Not
help?
for cognitive.
No.
I mean, if for physical, 100%. There's studies that show that like somebody who's working out without steroids versus somebody who's not working out but on steroids, the person on steroids gains more muscle mass.
I'd like to go through a juicing cycle in my 40s.
Yeah, I mean, I know guys on like not juicing, like on testosterone replacement, like in their early 40s, and it makes a huge difference. So like, I feel like I'm 20 again, which yeah. So
just like 1 or 2 cycles, just to see what I can do. I want to get like really back up, get like really good natural first, and then go through a cycle or 2, because like there's no way that you can get like that level of vacillation and shreddedness without getting on the juice.
Yeah. Are you jacked already though?
Not right now. Kind of.
Okay.
I need to lose 20 pounds.
Yeah.
But that's like cycle. I always go through like I'm always getting in shape during the bull and like getting kind of fat in the bear. Should be the other way around.
Should be the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Like the bear is when you have time and you need the kind of, it's almost like government spending. You actually want it to be counter-cyclical.
Yeah.
You need like the brain boost when your coins are down.
Well, everything is still down in my head.
That's PTSD. This is what I was talking about.
I know.
Talking about FDV. Like, we're just getting started. This is gonna get. Yeah, you got to ride it all the way up, man.
Well, let's come back to Gearbox. You guys have this brand new product out.
Yes.
Right now you have to get whitelisted to come in and use the credit accounts, but hopefully that's coming off in the next few days.
A couple of weeks that should be off. We also have on the other side, like we have like, technically this is like part of the farming side, right? There's also like Gearbox pure margin trading side. We're gonna have, we're not calling them points, we're calling them stimmies for but essentially a referral, like a trading referral and points program, which will come online in the next few weeks as well on the pure margin trading side. So if you're more of a trader, less of a points enjoyer in that sense, then, or a restaking points enjoyer anyways, then definitely check out pure margin trading in a few weeks. And then we also have, I think we might have just hit the cap on the EtherFi, but we do have like Renzo. Is that what it's? Is it Henzo or Renzo?
I think it's Renzo.
Because I only know like Henzo from Henzo Gracie, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. So yeah, Renzo is coming online next week or in 2 weeks from now as well. So if you missed your chance with EtherFi because we hit the caps, then definitely check that out. They also have eigenlayer points available. Yep.
Perfect. Thanks for coming on today, Amplice.
Really thanks so much for having me. Pleasure as always.
And I'm gonna go find some Adderall and get back on the cycle.
Performance enhance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks everybody. Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow. We have Benjamin from Keydao coming on, to talk about them getting back to PEG. Congratulations to them. So hopefully see you tomorrow. And yeah, thanks guys.